My method to orgasms, well, if I was to masturbate, pillows all the way, and just getting on top and making sure that I get that clitoris stimulation. However, if I'm with a partner, I find that usually I have to be on top, and that's when I get the best of the best.
The best orgasm period that I've had was my then boyfriend. He was like laying down on the bed and I was sitting on him, reverse cowgirl type, if you will. And so he was penetrating me from behind and he just like reached around and was like playing with my clit. And it was totally unexpected and it really just did it for me. And I just like squirted everywhere and we just kept going and it was great.
By myself, I find that nipple stimulation and clitoral stimulation is the best. I'll hump a pillow and that's always nice. With a partner, I prefer someone who's gonna get a little rough with me. I would like to lose a little bit of oxygen, so choke me really, really hard, and that'll be an explosive experience.
I orgasm from a large vibrator that can double as a back massage or anywhere massager, and I put it on my clitoris. And I usually stay in one position so I could feel a little bit of pain, and then I would hold my breath and I would orgasm from that.
I like to have clitoral orgasms when I'm with myself, when it's just direct contact and this motion. But I like to get creative. I also like shower heads or any hard surfaces. What do you mean by hard surfaces? Like, okay, so I know. So I like the bathtub ledge. I'll get a towel and I'll put it on so it's not like so hard, and I'll just like straddle it and kind of just like go back and forth with that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh my God, that was perfect.
Oh, hey there, lovers and friends. This video is sponsored by Lovers. And for nearly 40 years, this family of stores has been working to empower incredible sexual experiences. And in layman's terms, they are an adult toy store that is inclusive and has all the tools you need to get your rocks off while being affordable enough where everyone can keep the lights on. They have a really long list of products that they carry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read them off. Condoms, lubricants, lingerie, hosiery, dildos, vibrators, anal stimulators, massagers, masturbators, penis rings, penis pumps, strap-ons, gender affirmation products, sex swings and other furniture, a range of kink products, massage oils, CBD, books, games, and more. If you want to learn more about them, go into the info box. I actually have a special offer down there as well too that you can take advantage of. But if you're not really quite sure what to get when you do go there, this video will definitely get you inspired. I spoke to 5 different cisgender women about orgasm. Literally, we talked for an hour. I cut it down, but that's how much we had to say. But first thing is first, we had to start at the beginning. What was your first orgasm?
I was maybe around 10, maybe 10 or 12 or 11, one of those times, and I was in the bathroom. And you know the bottom part of the bathroom where you fill the tub up? I went underneath there. And when I mean, I used to take the longest showers in the world.
Water masturbation is such a really great way for women to understand the differences, because I know exactly how you orgasm once you set the faucet.
Yeah.
And I know some people who need, like, I was a showerhead queen, like just the singular stream, or if you put me in like a hot tub alone, that's going to the side.
I had my first orgasm when I was fairly young, so I'm really relieved that you guys was 10 and 11, because I just remember being like, I want to say maybe 7 or so. My dad would fill up the pool with a water hose. And so I would just get the water hose and like, it felt really nice, like pouring water, like while submerged in water. And then I would put it on my clit and I would just be like, wow, this was really good. And then I had no idea what it was, but I just knew it felt really good. So I told my sister, who was 2 years older than me, and I was like, Ellie, you really have to try this. It feels so good. And she looks at me and she goes, that's not good, don't do that. And then I asked,
oh, yes it is, try it.
I was like, you have to try it. And then so like after that, I was just like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to do this sort of thing, it's bad. And after that, I didn't really masturbate or anything until I was like 18. And with Tumblr, I would watch like videos and just copy what they're doing, and then I reached climax that way. It's kind of interesting to think like where we get this idea that masturbation is bad and self-pleasure is bad.
For me, I just I grew up the same way. I grew up in like a Christian household, and it wasn't
it's a sin to masturbate, and that was like so much pent up guilt from the age of like 11 up, and I just like humped a pillow. That was my thing. I just wanted to rub something. Yeah, I would have to get a specific type of pillow, not just like
Yeah, like
it was a
you were
firm
saying.
pillow. It had to be a firm pillow, kind of small, so that it was like I could fold it if I needed to. It just had to be hard and just like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do like a soft pillow.
That's crazy. Well, my story, I feel like it's like a bit of each of yours, but definitely like started rubbing on stuffed animals when I was like 9-10ish, like that age. Nothing really came from it.
I would say for me, the very first time I masturbated, I was about 11, 12, I want to say. I just researched like sexual pleasure, like what is it called? And
So
then
you looked it up first?
I looked it up, and I actually grew up in the Philippines, and I went to an international Catholic school in the Philippines, so that was like a no, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had everything that I learned about sex was through experience, and also, you know, from my big sister and your channel, honestly.
I was waiting for that plug. She didn't mention did you do insertion? Did you do clitoral stimulation?
You know what? It was clitoral.
What I think is really impressive here is that we have 5 women who all came to orgasm on their own terms. Because I speak to so many women who they have a partner who's the first person to get them there, that they don't ever touch, explore. So how do you think you found that permission yourself to say, this is a part of me that I want to actually understand myself?
I think I've just always been curious about myself, and like it really like blows my mind because I have friends who like don't masturbate at all. They don't, like, how are you supposed to have sex with another person, give yourself to another person if you don't even know that anything about yourself? Like some of my friends, they don't even like look at their vaginas in a hand mirror. Like they have this shame of like they don't want to look at it. It's scary. They don't want to touch themselves. It's scary, and I think it's crazy to me because like you should be like self-love. Like an orgasm is the best thing you can give yourself.
So we covered the group's go-to orgasm, then we discussed their first. So naturally, I wanted to hear about their best.
I think my best one, I was with my ex, and he had me bent over a chair, and there was a belt around my neck, and he was holding the belt while he was behind me. The combination of sex and pain together makes it just explosive for me, but that was one of the really good ones.
Wait, I want to back up. For me, not for you, but you reminded me of something. You said the belt. I think too, my explosive orgasm probably comes from when I should not be having sex in certain places. So I'm a bit of an exhibitionist, and I like to toe the line.
Yeah.
See, mine would be the opposite. Like, I like to just be as loud as I fucking can, and just like, you know, for not have to worry about is someone gonna fucking walk in. I don't know, like I just hate like being worried about my surroundings. But my best orgasm recently was with my ex, and my most recent ex, and I was on top. We were at his house, and I don't know, like he kept telling me hold it, and I like that. Like I like that thought of resistance, but like breaking the rule kind of in my head, like no motherfucker, I'm still gonna do it. And then and then we ended up like coming at the same time. So I think that was like one of my most beautiful experiences.
That's why I think like the mind is so so much more powerful. Like sometimes putting yourself in a situation that will like get you there, or like the idea of something will like get you there. But my most powerful orgasm was like when my ex at the time, we were like doing it in his car, and then he had like made me squirt, and then started penetrating me, and like it was so powerful that I actually started crying.
Oh my god, yeah.
I want to get to that.
It was like so intense that I was just like sobbing, and like I think also the idea of him like talking dirty to me was like also like, oh my god, like in my head, like oh my god, this is so hot, like it's gonna happen, and it was just
What's an unexpected way that you have experienced pleasure that you were like, that was fascinating?
I was going down on this girl. I was pleasuring her, eating her out, and I came from that. It was amazing, and just out of like I didn't know that could happen. And then it started happening more often than not, where I would be pleasuring somebody else, and I would come from that.
I agree.
So yeah.
We kind of touched on it earlier, but like nipple play, it's something my ex-boyfriend and I did like, well, you know, he gave some attention to the titties every now and then, but like this one time, I don't know what the difference was, but it just like did it for me, and
Yeah, same with me.
orgasm for me. I was not expecting to do that. So.
I'm in the power play mode with you. I like to like, for me, it turns me on when like I know it's just a good feeling when like you just hear that fuck underneath your breath.
Yeah.
I just love the power thing of like, I just made you feel like that. I'm sucking your dick and your soul belongs to me.
Orgasm is defined as a climax of sexual excitement that is characterized by pleasure. I personally describe it as a series of rapid contractions that result in involuntary bodily functions followed by a wave of euphoria. Now, I've heard a lot of different definitions and I've heard a lot of different ways people can get to that so-called wave of euphoria. And so I asked the group, what are some unique ways that they have found themselves in orgasmic bliss? Orgasm with anal.
Oh wait, yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I've never tried anal ever.
Okay, so it was when you first started, when you first do it. I used a lot of coconut oil. I prepared. Well, I didn't do the little hose thingy that people do, but nothing happened. Nothing happened afterwards. But I did use a lot of coconut oil. Thing was still painful, but what helped was my partner would like say breathe, relax, and then before I knew it, it was in. And I've done it like 3 times. Both times I had to get like talked into it, but yeah, I was able to. Huh?
What are you talking about?
Okay, so when you do anal, you have to clean everything out. So you use you can use like a douche, you know those things, douche enemas, and just squeeze it in there. Or if you're doing like fisting or stuff, you want to get in there with a hose because it goes further. But if you're doing like a regular just anal, enema is fine. But yeah, it was amazing, like the anal plus the clitoris stimulation or like internal, girl.
Yeah, because I've heard about like you stick a butt plug up there and then like someone's fucking you, like that's supposed to be just a prime orgasm.
It didn't do anything for me. I did that before, but the anal with the combination of, clitoris.
Have you tried beads?
No, I have a whole bunch of butt plugs though. I haven't tried beads yet.
Beads incredible because it's it's the pulling as well too. It's the really
down my spine.
Orgasm from just nipple play alone.
So I had my nipples pierced for a really long time and then I unpierced them, but they stayed stimulated, like just stayed extra sensitive. So now they're just like all the time, just,
oh really?
I can put a bra on and be like, ooh.
Orgasm while you sleep.
Like I've been waking up mad confused sometimes. Like,
that dream. Like, was that a dream?
Yeah.
You try to go back to sleep.
And like, and then when you go to the bathroom, like right when you wake up, I'm just like, what the fuck did it just happen?
What did you do?
And then I try to remember my dream and stuff.
Multiple orgasms.
Yeah.
Are you guys a preferred? I can multiply orgasm. It's never my preference. I just prefer my one because my second is just a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit painful.
It's so sensitive.
So it's so sensitive.
I think it's because it's clitoris. So clitoris, like if you come from a clitoris stimulation, if you try that again, it's very uncomfortable. But if you come from being penetrated, you could have multiple. Because I've had 8 orgasms in one time. I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I could have kept going, but she was tired.
Okay, so clarification. Squirting, orgasming, like is that the same thing or like is it 2 different things?
It can be.
It's a type of orgasm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not. Because I definitely know people who can squirt independently of sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
Independently of an orgasm. It's just like something that they can do.
Okay.
So some people it is linked directly. Some people it doesn't happen at all. I mean, you can.
That's just interesting to me because you said like after your second one, like you're done. Like I've had instances where it's like, no, I need like my 7th one and then I'm done. So I didn't even, like that's just interesting to me.
Is that from clitoris or
Yeah,
from
clitoris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing too with women. Like we have this special pressure around like the how and the when and the where and like what happens after an orgasm. Where it's just like you did it.
Yeah.
You know, like with a dude, we're not like, well, was it this kind of, was it squirting or was it an extra double boner? Did you have sex? It's just like you experienced pleasure and you liked it. Like my job is done.
I feel like guys like more squirting orgasms because it's like a visual representation of a woman.
Like, oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah, like, and I know oftentimes I've had multiple guys that like really can't even tell if I've orgasmed or not because me, a squirting orgasm versus like clitoral orgasm or penetrative orgasm, like they're all different. But I don't really like squirting orgasm because it's like messy and I'm like trying to sleep in the bed and like, I don't really want to deal with that. And so, but when a guy figures out that I can squirt, they'll like, that's what they want.
You know that one credit card company that asks, what's in your wallet? Well, I want to coin the phrase, what's in your box? Not like your Genital box. I meant your sex toy box. What toys, what tools, what's below the bed tucked down there behind that one pillow? Let me know what's in that.
So I have this 18-inch like double-sided dildo. I haven't used it on anyone yet, but I just bought it. It's like pink. It's so super cute. I have a lot of butt plugs. I have a tail. It's a butt plug connected with a foxtail. Super cute. I got chokers, nipple clamps, whips, belts.
I feel like I'll probably get at least one toy now that I'm newly single and like had that taste and I need my fix, you know.
I have one toy that I've had since I was like 18 and it hasn't failed me, so I'm like, but I'd be down to like, oh, and I also have a butt plug, and I've gotten creative with like household items, but other than that, I've just had that one toy because when I masturbate, I generally like to just do clitoral orgasms.
I haven't tried any toys actually, so.
I do it. I use my toys even with partners. Like I
Yeah, do
my
you think
toys
that there's
is
a
just
big
there.
link between the fact that there's a disproportionate amount of women who don't orgasm regularly during sex, and then women who aren't coming prepared to have the kind of sex that they want? It's like a toy is almost like your fail-safe opportunity to say like, this is what's going to work. Why do you think that there is some stigma around women using toys?
Well, during sex, it's like the guy can't get it done, or at least that's supposed to be the feeling, which it shouldn't be. You should be able to take that toy and be like, no, I'm gonna make you feel this way with me and the toy. But it's not always like that. There's like that disconnect of like, well, if I can't make you come, I'm not a man. If I can't make you come, then like I didn't do my job right as a partner.
You can't really talk about physical pleasure without discussing the mental. So I asked the women how much what up here played a role in what happens down there.
How important is the mental in your ability to orgasm?
Very important.
Is it 80? Is it 50?
No, 100%. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is what we're doing right now. This is all we're doing. Then we can do whatever else we need to do.
Yeah.
Like, the goal is to squirt, whatever. Like, that's all. Like, all in.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't, before it wasn't that important, my mental, because I never had a problem with orgasming ever since I was little. But like recently now it's like mental is 100%. You know, I need that mental connection or that mental to orgasm or to.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mix of both. I mean, I think some people refer to mental as like being present in the moment,
Yeah.
not having shame associated with it, or just being relaxed. But I also find it to be a tool of shame for women, or of discouraging how they experience pleasure. Like, I've talked to so many women who are like, men have said to them, well, it's because you're not letting go, that's why you can't get there. As opposed to acknowledging that some people just don't like that shit. You know?
Yeah. Do you guys think, like, since we're talking about mental, do you guys think like certain expectations we have, like let's say it's our first time, you know, sleeping with this partner, like we build certain expectations in our heads. Do you think that kind of like disappoint us at some point?
I think what ruins my expectations oftentimes is like sexting that person prior to like having intercourse with them.
Yo.
Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat you for hours and like I'm gonna do this and this and this, and when it gets down to it, he just like puts it straight in. And so it's like super upsetting. But I think that like it's more fun when you just like have those expectations for yourself. Like when you're just like, oh, I know I'm gonna be good at this.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna focus on like myself, my own energy with this person, and like kind of like helps.
I think a big mental thing that I used to have is my own internal clock of like, I'm taking too long. So I was to feel the guilt that I'm taking too long, or they're not getting what they want fast enough. And so I would speed up the things that I enjoy to try to like get to what they like. And once I stopped doing that, things got better. So a lot of it was the own guilt I was putting on myself.
Yeah.
I had a partner who would literally tell me like, did you come yet? Or like, or he said, oh, my hand's getting tired. I was just like, you just like put so much pressure on me to orgasm rather than just enjoying the experience of like making something pleasurable for a person. And I think that's just like, that kind of like completely turns me off from like that mindset of like having to orgasm. And again, with the mindset, like I when I masturbate, I tend to like go back and forth from like using porn and just using my imagination, because sometimes like if I'm just like focusing on orgasming myself without watching porn or anything, it makes it a lot easier to orgasm.
No, okay, this is like taboo. People are gonna see this, hello. But I like to watch lesbian porn.
Same, yo! Durex Canada came out with a stat that said that only 26% of women in heterosexual relationships achieve orgasm regularly. But after watching this video, it might seem like people are just orgasming every single time the wind blows. And of course, that couldn't be further from the truth for a lot of people. Many people that I've spoken to have a very difficult time achieving orgasm with a partner and even sometimes alone. So I wanted to ask this group, who seems to know something really special that a lot of us yet haven't found for ourselves, what advice they would give to someone who's having a difficult time clearing their own path to pleasurable bliss.
I would say get to know your body first before you give that power to someone else. Because, you know, it's so important to know what we like and then be comfortable enough to tell our partners like what works for us and what doesn't. And, you know, same thing with them. Like if ever you have a partner, ask them what they like as well. And research everything. Like I research everything. So yeah.
So I would say that orgasm isn't the entire goal. You know, when you're with your partner, just being with them, enjoying whatever it is you guys are doing should be the main focus, because not everyone will orgasm. You could try years. I have a friend that she's almost 30 and she's never orgasmed, you know, but she enjoys sex. She enjoys being with her partner. You know, that's not always the goal, and it may not never happen for you, but doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with you. It just may mean that's just not what your body could do at that time, and it feels good regardless if you come in or not.
I think that just keep learning about yourself and, like, you know, keep educating yourself. Like you said, sometimes I would watch like videos that I didn't even think I would be into that, and it helps arouse me, and like just keep exploring and educating and learning more about what you like. I mean, I've actually had an orgasm from a cycling class that I did, which like I wasn't even trying, and that happened. So just be aware and like not just stop putting so much pressure.
I say, let it happen. So I have a friend who she would get to like right at the edge of orgasming, and it would just be such an intense feeling. She didn't want it anymore, so she would stop. So if you feel that, just go with it. It's supposed to be kind of an intense feeling. It's going to be an intense feeling, but it's not going to be an intensely bad feeling necessarily, unless, you know, you've got a little bit of trauma and other things, factors that go into that. But just let yourself experience that. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to
control it.
Yeah, don't try to control it. You have to let go of that control. And that's pretty scary for a lot of people.
One more thing. If you're blindfolded and with earplugs, you can't see or hear what you're doing, and that would take away all the stress. Oh my God. Just saying.
And that is the end of the video. I want to say a big shout out to the women who took part. Those who wanted to include their socials, you can find them in the info box below. And while we're talking about what's down there, I got to shout out our sponsor one more time, Lovers. Please go and check out their store, specifically the private label, which is incredible, chic, and really, really fun and surprising. But all in all, you can go down there to find your needs to whatever your specific sexual fantasies or desires are. They probably have the tool that is best priced and best suited for you. In the info box, I want to continue this discussion. Of course, please let me know what is your go-to way to orgasm. And if you didn't hear it in this video, more reason to write it down below. But also, I would love to know what surprising sex toy recommendation would you make that has really done wonders for you.
Yeah, I used to think about you when I had no